everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death, the first show of 2019. Ryan, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Nice
I got
shirt. Have you
this.
been wearing that shirt for the last year?
Dude, I don't think I've taken the sweatshirt off ever.
If I'd seen it, I would have changed. I think I got my my Dicing with Death tee over.
In high school, I wore like a gray hoodie to school every day for like 4 years straight, except for like the last few months.
Correction.
Except for the last 3 months.
3 years straight. 3.5 years straight.
Yes.
Do you want to tell them about the second semester of senior year?
We'll save that story for
We'll save that story for another time. Remind me Twitch chat to at some point in the future. Could be years. It could go the way of the Angband timer, but at sometime I'll tell you the story of
we'll save it for
every day to school for the second half of senior year.
We'll save it for a special moment. You know, I'm sure we can milk something out of these people to get that story, because that's a good story that hasn't been told.
But if they don't know the story, how will they know that it's a good one? How will they know that it's worth it?
Because we just
told them. Take our word for it.
Yeah, take our word for it. Yeah.
Unless the wiki contradicts us, in which case, no, just kidding.
So welcome back to Dicing with Death. Welcome back to 2019.
Welcome back. Welcome for the first time. 2019. Yes. Well, except for the last 2 days. Have you not streamed since the new year?
No, this is the first stream since
this is it.
Shenanigans. Wow. Yeah, since the 22nd. I haven't worked in 10 days. 12 days. Oh my god.
I still haven't worked. This is
play for you.
This is play for me, right?
Yeah, it's play for me too. Playful working. Yeah. All right. Anyway, when last we left, our hero Theron, the cleric of Astaire, was hanging around with a dark and dirty necromancer, but he didn't know. Yeah,
we should have just read the wiki.
Okay, we should just read the wiki.
Awesome.
You want to do it?
Yeah, let me just skim this to see. There's a lot here. I may get bored halfway through and start summarizing or reading first sentences.
Yeah, it's good.
I may edit as I go. This could be the first half hour is just me going through and editing the wiki. God, I hope not. Wouldn't that be a fun stream?
Our New Year's resolution is to be more accurate with our recaps, so we're just going to take the time and live edit the wiki during our games from now on.
Yeah. Now that my vocal cords are nice and restricted with the caffeine, I'm all ready for a long reading here. All right, so we're looking at Dicing with Death, episode 149. We definitely, okay. We're definitely at episode 149. Recapping 149. All right.
Yeah.
Previously on Dicing with Death, A17, Jason Osborne, in charge of Jacksonville and some other nearby villages, lets Malcifer Winter, Lilith, and Cleric Theron inside. They gather in the sitting room. Jason Osborne says a skeleton has been seen nearby a week ago. Oh, that's when we're supposed to gasp. Theron talks about zombies they slayed. They agree to have a meeting about the situation tomorrow. Day 18. They all head to breakfast. The all. Is anyone following along and catching these mistakes? Who's my note keeper? They all head to breakfast. The Landed Knight talks about his captain, Keenan, and head over to the Western Forest area to check on the villages over there. Malcifer calls Jason Sir Jason, the old Gadian title. Malcifer collects his horse and rides out to Weston. After half an hour, Malcifer reaches a small village and is directed south by southwest. Malcifer arrives in... oh my gosh. Malcifer arrives in somewhere, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to... Yeah, we're skimming because this is all weird for me because I know these places. All right, there's a captain. Ride back to the States, blah, blah, blah. They find Theron leading afternoon prayer. Yep, he's a real priest. They can pray. All All right, so we headed to town. See what you've done, Neal? I would have read the whole recap word for word if you'd used better names.
You're going to blame me now, I see.
Yeah, I'm blaming you. Good. Okay, so anyways, we head into town where there had been the sightings of undead. There are 2 bodies in the street. Theron had... There was a scene with... So we saw in Jacksonville, there was that night that we waited out. Oh, no, that was 2 sessions ago. Okay, so this is the second time we've been to Jacksonville.
Right.
So we had the zombie standoff on the porch 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This past week, we went to the local lord's house. He told us skeleton sightings. We returned to the village.
Yep.
And there's still the bodies in the street from the previous showdown from 2 episodes ago.
Yep. Then you guys
I think we just tracked the zombies back where they came from.
Mm-hmm. You fought
we were ambushed by zombies on the way. We kill all the undead by the skin of our teeth.
Yeah, you find the guy who's creating them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we see ominously standing on the hill the necromancer. I don't know that we've ever heard his name, but according to the wiki, it's Zuzad the corpse maker.
Mm-hmm. Zawzad, maybe?
Zawzad?
I'm not sure about the pronunciation.
I can't pronounce it. I've never heard it. Ooh. Let's see. Maybe I'll read this section. All right.
Day 19.
Oh, I'm not going to... No.
Oh,
well, so we follow them, see the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the battle, the party look around to see a figure, Zuzad the corpse maker, standing in the lantern light over 100 feet away at his hut. There's just too many gasps. He flees inside. Malcifer and Kel Jason ride over to the hut as Lilith and Theron arrive soon afterward on foot. Malcifer rides around this 15 by 15 foot building and sees there are no other exits. Malcifer and Zuzad make eye contact for a moment through the window. Then Zuzad closes the curtain. Ooh. Over the front door of Zuzad's hut is a sign showing he's a mortician. Party group up. Kel Jason isn't familiar with Zuzad. Malcifer thinks Zuzad is the best suspect. What do you think gave it away? Was it the fact that his name is the corpse maker? Zuzad the corpse maker? Definitely
he
not
works with dead bodies and lives right next to the graveyard.
Kel Jason knocks on the front door as Malcifer watches the window to make sure he doesn't escape. "Rise, my minions, rise!" calls out Zawzad. All the party climbing out of the ground, all around the party. 3 zombies, 3 skeletons pull themselves out. Another fight. Kel Jason takes out 1. Theron casts Turn Undead. Malcifer returns to the window. Jason busts in the door. Zuzad flees to the basement, where an undead jaguar leaps on Kel Jason, knocking him unconscious. I attempt to take control, but fail. I being Malcifer. Aaron leads the charge. Yep, Knight tanked epically. I think he went down,
but survived.
Yeah, and by the skin of our teeth, so I guess this was the whole day was full of close battles. Dice were on someone's side, evil's side. And Theron tanked the jaguar while Malcifer picked it off from range with a crossbow. Malcifer and Theron entered the basement. Zuzad stands in the room holding only a lantern. It is the mortician's workroom with 2 tables with dead bodies on each one. 1 body in the process of being flayed. Zuzad tries to explain himself that he made 1 mistake and trying to cover up for it made things worse, and that no one would understand. Malcifer says he understands before violently dragging Zuzad outside. Zuzad begs for his life, saying that he can help. Malcifer and Theron execute Zuzad. That does not do that horrific scene justice. I think there was a botched execution followed by a man of a stare. Well, just go back and listen to it.
Yeah, it was a good episode. All right. Good recap, Brian.
Jason was down, but I think he's okay. We took him to the tavern to heal. I think we left him in the care of a healer, and then we return home.
You guys all took off.
Yeah, I tell everyone that the necromancer's dead. It was Zuzad. Someone in the crowd says they aren't surprised, considering how creepy he was. Lilith asks to stay for a few days to make sure Jason recovers. Oh, that's right. And Malsifer agrees. Theron requests to become the cleric of Winter's Reach. Malsifer silently agrees, while on the inside not happy.
The wiki also has psychic abilities. Yeah.
Sorry, what's that?
The wiki has psychic abilities. It can read Zauzat or Malsifer's deepest thoughts, and project them into the writing.
All right. Malsifer and Theron return to Winter's Reach. Theron asks permission to start construction of a rectory. Ooh. Yes. And Malsifer agrees, saying that Norman the carpenter can help.
Yes.
Malsifer returns to his estate and talks with Lord Rosegrove. I should put that on silent, because everything had been quiet while Malsifer was away.
Yes. Well,
and
mostly quiet.
Ooh, the new fertilizer has turned the white roses into pink roses. Level up. I'm now level 3.
But we've already dealt with all of your leveling stuff, right?
Well, we haven't made use of my new level powers, but yeah, my character sheet is updated.
Your HP is updated. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. I think we are recapped. How long did that take? That wasn't that bad.
No, it was good. It was great.
So, a little rambling.
Yeah.
I think I would have read it straight through if it weren't for Neal.
That's right. Blame me.
Blame Neal.
Hashtag blame Neal, everyone. 2019, the new hashtag is blame Neal.
It would have been a dramatic reading. No immersion broke, but instead. All right, let me just silence this phone and we'll be good to go.
Cool. All right. We are back at Winter's Reach. It is the day after you have arrived.
Yeah, because we were probably sleep deprived. I am not in roll 20, so no, I'm not ready.
Oh my god.
What's going on?
You're also not in the disco.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. We're rusty. Fine. It's the first session of the new year. All right, I'm not even logged into roll 20. I haven't logged into roll 20 in weeks. What's going on here?
That's fine.
This is what, instead of having me entertain your viewers, you should have walked me through the setup process.
I should. Okay.
All right.
We'll do that for 2020. All right, because hindsight's always 2020.
New Year resolution. Oh, I am.
Dude, the hindsight 2020
jokes
are coming.
Yeah, I had not prepared myself for the 2020 jokes.
Oh, they're going to be here all year long. The start of next year is going to be pretty brutal. Okay, so here we are, back in your estate. Let's get some estate creepy music going on for you.
Yeah, some estate management music.
Yes. You wake up in your estate the next morning, and as you go to your parlor for breakfast, there is a woman sitting in your parlor. She's short, like well under 5 feet tall, human, in her 30s or so, with a how do we want to call it? A embroidered frock, a small hat that is slightly tilted off to the side. She has a book open in her hands that she is reading while she is eating Tomas's special potatoes.
Do I recognize this woman?
You do
she
not.
She sounds way too fancy to be from Winter's Reach.
Yes.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Good morning, milady. And I bow and I give Tomas a flash of a dirty look for like letting this person into my home. But I mean, it's a noble lady, so you can see. But I and all this is communicated with just one fierce glance, like, or maybe he doesn't understand, but he knows he messed up.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then I go back to greet my my visitor.
She gets up and gives you a brief curtsy and head bow and says, "Good morning, Mr. Winter. I am Grace, an emissary of the Korbel family. I was told that Kel William Korbel was last seen here in Winter's Reach, but that you were not around and that I should wait to speak to you."
Yes. I am the Lord Winter, and I can. I have the distinct, the unfortunate task of informing you that your brother, was it?
My lord.
Your lord. Oh, and I pause and look her up, and is she's she like a messenger?
She looks like maybe a messenger or an emissary, some sort of
okay.
Yeah, agent.
Your lord has perished.
How? She says, surprised and a little stunned.
Well, executed, in fact.
Excuse me?
I nod. For 2 counts of murder and the maiming of one blacksmith. What was his name? Jason. I must. Yeah.
A startling movement from the other side of the room, or to the right of the room, along the wall that you're standing against or near, brings your attention to a young man. Some might say a boy. Probably in his
the phone. Is Tomas still in the room?
Tomas is not still in the room. No.
How many people? I take a second to look around and make sure there's no one else in this room.
No, it's just this small mousy boy.
He's blending in with the bookshelf in the corner.
Yeah, he's 5'7", but scrawny as a twig. He's got some chainmail over his body and some awkwardly fitting leather bracers on his wrists and shins. He's dressed like a squire with the same emblems of the Korbel family on his chest. And he gets to his feet, surprised, and drops the small plate that he had, which breaks on the ground at his feet. The emissary says, "Oh, excuse me, my lord. This is Sam. He is the squire. Sam, where are your manners?" Sam sits back down and mumbles some sort of apology for breaking the dish.
"You squired for the Corval Knight?"
He nods and gets back to his feet again, quickly.
"May I ask where you were last week?"
He told me I wasn't fit for his hunting trip.
Hunting trip. Mm-hmm. Well, how old is the boy look?
15, 16.
Okay, so he's old enough. Yeah. So I say that to him. You look old enough to hear the truth of it, boy.
He just blinks.
I look back to the woman, or to the emissary now. "Lord Korbel, the disgraced knight, showed up drunk to my tavern and got in an altercation with the blacksmith, which ended in the blacksmith losing a hand. When I attempted to approach the former Sir Korbel, he grew violent. In the altercation, he slew a woman and a child who happened to be bystanding.
You notice her eyebrow twitches
a
moment when you say "sir" instead of "Kel," like the old word coming up again, and she can. There's a visual reaction.
Sir is a sign of respect, no?
It is, but it's also like this, old backwater way of saying the same thing.
I suppose. My only regret is that I did not have the honor of executing the man himself. The people of Winter's Reach, the elements themselves.
And have you brought his murderers to justice?
I can assure you that the only murderer here was the late Lord Korbel.
Well,
if you would like, does he have an heir?
where is his body so that we might at least return it home?
I frown and look. What time? It's like.
It's morning. Maybe late morning.
All right. If you'll be so patient as to wait for me to take my morning coffee, I will escort you down to the church where he has been interred.
Of course. I didn't mean to dump all of this on you so early in the morning, my lord. I've just
Have you been traveling through the night?
No, I've been here a few days.
Oh, okay. So she got here while I was away. And...
Yes. I should have brought this to your attention after we had been more formally introduced in a more proper setting. How about I make it a proper appointment at whenever you keep court?
I'm sorry, what did you say your name was?
Grace.
Grace. And you are?
I am an emissary from the Korbel family. After Kel William did not show up back home, his wife sent a few emissaries here and there. I took Sam with me and came south. I heard some rumors, some sightings of him a little bit north of here. They said he went down this direction. When I came into town, I asked the sheriff, I believe a man by the name of Jason or
Freddie. Jason was the blacksmith whom your lord
well, she's a little
assaulted.
Uncertain of the name. I spoke with the sheriff, and he said that he had seen the night, but that I should wait and speak to you about what had happened to him. I see now why the sheriff was so cagey with his answers.
Yes. Well then. Now that we all understand, I will excuse myself for but a moment. Well, maybe 5 minutes or 10 or...
Yeah. You take your leave.
Yeah, I take my leave, and then I get ready to go. And I think I'll head with them. I'll show them to the temple, but I probably need to go and get my stuff ready. Do I give them... I don't think I give them back the horse or anything. Maybe I'll give them back the shield. They probably owe... what's a blacksmith worth? Right? They probably owe me some great deal of recompense.
Blacksmith is a very valuable thing.
Right, so I confiscating his horse in the process seems quite amenable. But we'll see. So I come back a few minutes later. Are they probably still waiting in the parlor, or did they?
Yes, they're still. Tomas has come back and cleaned up the dishes and brought Sam some new food. Grace is still gracefully and daintily eating her breakfast.
Okay, Malsiver has switched from his lounging breeches into his riding breeches. I don't know. And I've thrown on my old leather trench coat, my suit of because it doesn't quite seem befitting to be wearing their late lord's armor into town. They said he was a lord, Korbel? I thought it was just a knight.
She did say my lord, so there's definitely some servitude going on here.
Okay. All right. I return. I leave the executioner. The executioner's axe is actually probably hanging up over the fireplace in this parlor, huh?
Probably,
did I put it back, or did I take it up with me?
No, I think it's there. That's where it belongs. Yeah. It's right near the brand by the fireplace. But the fires are not lit right now, and you can come back into the room. And Grace gets back to her feet, as does the squire, with an awkward start.
Yeah, I think is Lord Rosegrove around?
He's somewhere around. You can have grabbed him before you came back.
Yeah, at some point in the intervening, Sure. Probably been dragged out to like 20 minutes at this point. I grab Lord Rosegrove and I ask him, where did that old shield go? The Korbel one. And I have him fetch that for me.
He brings it out from someplace that it was kept. Got a thin layer of dust over it.
Let me see what else was on. What did I have? Did I even write this stuff down?
Lord Rosegrove will also tell you that the sheriff has 2 matters for your attention while you were gone. Low priority, my lord. Nothing too pressing.
I'll be heading into town in just a minute. I'll go speak with Freddie. All well on the estate?
Oh, the sheriff has arrested 2 people and is waiting your judgment on them.
How do you probably can't even keep 2 people? Are there 2 sides? There's probably 2 stockades, or maybe they had some makeshift.
Yes. Right. So you have gathered the night's things, and you return to the sitting room, the parlor, and there's Grace, Sam. Grace gets to her feet, as does Sam. And if you bring in the shield, they will both give a slight gasp as it walks in the room.
I don't
Sam
think
comes
there's
over
anything else. Oh, he had a sword. Did he have a long sword? No, he had an axe. He had a battle axe.
Yeah.
The battle axe is out in the out with the horses stuff that I'll probably keep. But the shield has a symbol on it, right? So I'd wipe the dust off when Lord Rosegrove hands it to me. Right. Though he was disgraced, I suppose you'll still be wanting this, and I hand it to the squire.
He takes it, mumbles a thank you as he bows his head to you, and retreats it back into the corner.
Is this the sigil of your house? I say, looking to the emissary.
Of my lord's house, yes.
Your late lord.
Of my lady's house, then, yes.
The former knight was the lord of House Korbel?
Yes, he was the... Yes.
Any sons?
1.
How old?
A boy, not quite 10 yet. And a cousin, a landed knight of some repute. Surely you've heard of Lord Korbel.
Yeah, this conversation is probably as we're walking down the hill. I assume they're eager to get to town. Or they've probably been hanging around my parlor long enough.
They've been hanging around your house for a few days, so you guys headed to town together. Excellent.
Lord I hadn't heard of Lord Korbel. There isn't this. Lord Korbel's dead.
There's multiple Lord Korbels, apparently. This is the Korbel family symbol.
Does it say patience, honor, virtue on the bottom of it?
Yes.
We walk into town. Okay. Does anything else come up, or should we just?
Nope. You guys can chat on your way into town. Theron is nowhere to be seen, probably stuck in long morning prayers.
Well, we're going to the church first. I mean, that's where I'm taking them, right? Because he's buried up back in the church. So we show up at the church early morning and poke our heads in. Theron was wounded, badly wounded. He's probably, wasn't he sleeping in the church?
He's probably resting in your estate.
Oh,
just exhausted.
I think we ended with me dropping him off at the church and him being like, "Can I build a rectory?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
I think you drop him off the church. He goes and examines it to look to build a rectory.
Okay, so he's not here when we get back the next morning.
Yeah, I don't think there's any place to sleep here.
Okay. Yeah. So I walk them through the chapel. Mm-hmm. Looks like, I guess we'll consider the map / wiki canon and say that the entrance appears to be on the south side of the building.
Sure. That'll work for me.
A tall, cavernous Spartan chapel. I'm thinking like a tall steepled thing, but pretty unadorned on the inside, although there are rows of pews that I walk them between. Looks like there's a cool roundy bit on the top. There's like a dome in the middle, or like a steeple in the middle.
Is that a raised platform that's then covered so that you can sort of have like a hole in the top for the smoke to rise out? It's like an indirect chimney that comes to the sides rather than straight up.
Interesting, and that's probably where the tallest spire is.
Yeah,
on the roof.
Yeah.
And there's probably a big fire pit in the middle. I get like an unused fire, like a circle in the middle.
Yeah.
That could be lit, or a space for it.
There's a space for a burning flame.
Right now, it's probably just bare bricks or whatever, like a stones, whatever, circle in the middle. All right, I walk them through the chapel into the yard out back, where there are probably hundreds of gravestones, right?
Yes, many gravestones.
Oh, it's beautiful. And I lead them over to a fresh grave. I think it's unmarked, a fresh unmarked grave that Theron had dug.
There are many prying eyes watching the three of you enter this area from the townsfolk.
I think there's probably is there a fence around the graveyard, or does it just...
I think it's a low fence that doesn't really obscure vision very well. More of like a symbolic
But it is
barrier.
it is contained.
Yeah.
In a small ceremonial stone wall. Okay. Yeah. And then there's like a meadow out beyond it, and we see like the villagers sort of gathering on the outskirts of the wall. There were probably a few spotted us when we made our way into the village. I'm sure there's
a few people in the tavern. The blacksmith hasn't left his house in days. Big Jimmy's, sewing something on his porch. A few other townies are around watching.
Yeah, we see all that as we walk into the church. Okay, yeah. Right. And then do they follow us around? Like some of them start to gather, like peek at what we're doing?
No, it's just that, they've got to go work on their other things that are nearby the graveyard, Big Jimmy's got to go and collect some thread from the weaver lady down the street, and she just happens to be sort of near the graveyard, and a bunch of the woodcutters are taking their lunch break a little bit early,
Sure. Yeah.
I
take the emissary and the squire to this unmarked grave, probably on the edge of the out near the wall, the edge of the graveyard. A traveling cleric of a stair laid him to rest here. I'll have him have the body excavated and turned over to you. Do you have some way to transport it?
No, we were not expecting him to be dead.
Then perhaps you should return to your keep, and I can send the remains in the intervening days.
Of course, yes.
Or you can wait and travel with the...
Perhaps Sam and I should return to our home and prepare a proper funeral procession. Bring some wagons and a proper casket for the man.
I nod.
And when we return, there is another matter we should probably... my betters will probably have to discuss with you, my lord.
I look at her expectantly. Maybe sternly. She pauses.
She pauses, and you can see in her face the debate of whether or not she should speak up, but she resolves to. I do believe my lady will have some objection to the execution of a knight by a petty noble instead of by
I
a
reach
count.
out and I reach out to grab her. I'm just gonna make a roll to hit, get the dice warm.
Okay.
At level 3, do I have a bonus to hit, or do I gain Thaco as a wizard?
Oh no, your Thaco is a wizard yet, not until level 5.
Okay. So I'm just at a flat d20. Except for maybe surprise. I'll let you factor that into her. So I think she steps back as I
There's an involuntary lurch behind.
And then I think I'm also restraining myself, and I stare her down. Petty lord. I will have you departing Winter's Reach at once.
I meant no disrespect. I apologize. We shall depart immediately.
I stop and weigh her as if to fighting whether I should make more of this slight.
She and Sam will leave.
Yeah,
they'll head back to Winter's Reach to get their
probably
things.
know better and see this seething anger.
Yeah.
Skedaddle before I have time to decide on my next action.
Yeah. They scamper back to Winter's Reach to grab their effects and take off.
Okay, so I think I come striding out of the church just behind them, and I watch them go running up the hill back towards my estate. And then I walk over to the sheriff, who's probably nearby, to see what he did.
He's sitting there. He's been watching from afar, trying to give you privacy, but still keeping an eye on you so he can grab you whenever. And there's Freddy, waiting for you. He gives you a deep bow, and with a humble, my lord.
Freddy?
There are a few matters waiting for you, and then an otherwise quiet time.
I look over to the stockades. Is there anyone locked up there?
Indeed there is. There is a youngish woman.
Just one? There's not two?
No, this one's in her mid-20s, stuck in stockades.
Yeah. Yes, Lord Rosegrove told me you had made 2 arrests. I guess we start walking over to the stockade.
He leads you to the stockade and says, would you care to deal with this now, or in a more formal setting, my lord? This woman is accused of theft.
I walk over and look at her. Do I recognize this woman? I assume she's from the village.
She's from the village. You recognize her-ish.
Do we want to give her a name and a title, or
her name is Carrie. C-A-R-R-I-E, Carrie.
Carrie? And is she a fisher?
No, she is not. She is... I don't know what the technical term is, but a bum, maybe?
No.
She sort of lives off the land. Eating what berries she can find, kind of scrounging, doing odd jobs around town for a little bit of money here and there, but is otherwise sort of a nobody. Her mom is dead. Her father is the town drunk who's probably hanging out on the backside of the tavern right now.
Of stealing what? I say to Freddy.
Chickens, my lord. She stole 4 chickens from the Bones family farm. Mr. Bones wants a finger for each chicken she stole as punishment.
Well, Mr. Bones will have a chicken for each chicken. Plus maybe 1 for the trouble. As for you, Carrie, is she so at this point we're standing next to her in the stockade?
Yeah,
so
she's got her head cocked to one side and is trying to look at you guys.
Do you have anything to say for yourself?
She mutters something about being hungry, but she kind of says it under her breath and, in a very submissive way.
Well, I'll take the debt unto myself, Sheriff. Tomas can have the chickens delivered. Or you can go speak with Tomas to have the chickens delivered. Was there another matter?
There is. A woman came into town a few nights back. I have kept her locked up in my house. I was...
Malcifer raises an eyebrow.
An outsider, a stranger, showed up in town and parked herself at the tavern.
Okay, so I nod. We start walking towards the sheriff's house.
Yeah.
I think we leave Carrie in the stockades for the time being. Does she say that screaming as we walk away?
No, she says nothing. She's been
okay.
held up for a while. She's...
All right.
The sheriff gets to the door and kind of puts his hand on it and says, once at the pub, she started trying to turn tricks, as it may be. I wasn't sure. I arrested her, awaiting your judgment.
Tricks? Like magic tricks?
No, my lord.
Oh.
Her name is Crimson.
Name is what?
Crimson.
All right,
So
is he? Go ahead and gesture for him to unlock his door.
He unlocks the door and leads you into the house. There's a woman. She has got some manacles that have like attached her to a post in the house that is sort of like supporting the ceiling somewhere.
Yeah. So I think as he's opening the, well, never mind. Okay, yeah. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead. She's manacled to
She's manacled to a post in the house.
Okay. What state is she in?
She is fed and clothed and inside, so she's probably fine. But she's also doesn't really look like her clothes are a little threadbare. Her face is a little bit dirty. One of her sandals, you can see like the strap that holds the toes down is starting to come undone. It's like flapping a little bit. She's in a bit of a sorry state.
Okay. And I think I say aside from like across the room in the sheriff's ear. I don't know how maybe she can roll a perception check to overhear or something like that, but I keep it from her. And you say this one was causing trouble?
Well, we haven't had much in the way of working girls in Winter's Reach. And I did not know how my lord felt about it. I thought it better to arrest her than to let an outsider come in. Is that
against the law anywhere in
it's
in
localized.
Arcadia?
It's really up to each and every noble who owns land to decide.
I guess Malcifer is just trying to wrap his head around why she was arrested in the first place. Was she causing a scene?
No, my lord. I thought she was corrupting the character of our people, but if you say otherwise, I can let her go immediately.
I say aloud now. I must say, Sheriff, it's a bit unseemly to have a woman restrained in your room.
I'm sorry, we were out of stockades. Shall I free her? He says, reaching for keys.
In the future, you should improvise something outside. I don't know. Anyways, we go to unlock bring your keys, and I approach the woman and look at her. Yeah. She's not like wounded? Is she like starving?
Nope, she's fed, but she is afraid. She definitely seems nervous and uncomfortable as the two, people of authority approach her while she's chained up in the sheriff's house.
Where are you from, miss?
Pinespur. She meekly responds.
A long way from Pinespur.
She nods slowly. Look, I didn't know it wasn't
brings you out
allowed
here?
Looking for work.
Got anywhere to stay?
I was hoping to find a place for the night when the sheriff arrested me.
You got any money? I look
No.
over to the sheriff. She have any
shakes.
possessions?
Just what she had on her, the sheriff says.
She's like unlocked at this point, probably like rubbing her wrists.
Yeah,
You,
she was
you
like
walk
attached
all the
to-
way here?
She nods slowly.
I look down. Does she like have nice shoes on, or is she just
No,
like
her sandals
poor
are worn and starting to fall apart.
Well, doesn't sound like she's committed any crimes, Sheriff. But I'll have you know, miss, that you shan't be disrupting the social order of things here in Winter's Reach.
I'll move on as soon as you let me go.
Move on to where? And with what? You know, walk into the next village and find yourself in their stockades?
She kind of droops her head, acknowledging that she has nowhere to go and no possessions, and that she's in a desperate state.
If only there were insight checks or something.
Well, what do you want?
I don't know. See the future?
She...
Not how it works.
Well, what sort of telling are you looking for? What do you want to insight check?
I'm just trying to get a feel on whether this woman is to be trusted, whether to allow her. Like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound to me like she caused any problem. The sheriff just is a moralizing old man.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
You can give me a charisma check if you want to try and read her face and her mannerisms. It's the same thing.
Yeah. 13. Like, get whether does she look shifty? Is she like? I don't know. I got no gauge.
No, she's definitely just like kind of nervous and hiding her face and not making eye contact with anyone really.
Well, since as far as I can tell, no crimes have been reported, I look to Freddy again for reassurance. Or for assurance. Or for an answer, for an explanation.
Well, if you say so, my lord, no crimes were committed. He kind of like adjusts his belt heavily as he says that.
How long have you held her here? I say to the sheriff.
2 nights, my lord.
Well, why don't we at least see what we can do to make up for those 2 nights. You've been fed?
She nods.
Watered?
She nods.
Well, if you'd like to go, we can get some food or something. I look over to Freddy for the road.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah. Or you may stay, and you don't cause any trouble. And I guess I go to leave the sheriff's house, whatever, and leave him to sort out the details.
Yeah. As you leave, you see him fish out some silver from a pocket and hand it over to the woman. You take off.
Freddie, poor judgment or something. I don't know. Actually, I need to. I get Freddie's attention. Let Carrie out of the stockades.
Oh, yeah, of course, my lord. He lets the woman out of the stockades. She gives you a light bow.
You'll have to find some way to repay for those chickens.
She looks at you blankly.
Does she have somewhere that she lives in town?
You're not familiar. This is just one of the unwashed masses of little to no importance.
Yeah. Come with me for now. So I'll take Carrie back to the estate and probably make her deliver the chickens unless the sheriff's going to follow up on that.
Nope. If you will have her deliver the chickens, the sheriff will leave it to the two of you.
Okay.
And you head back to the estate with her.
Yeah.
I think on the way you probably see the others fleeing.
Are they just like heading off into the woods to the north, or?
Yeah, they're heading northward on horses quickly at a canter.
Horses? They had horses in my stables? Oh shit! I go to my stables and make sure they didn't take the knight's horse.
They did not.
Okay. Well, they are on horseback. Okay. Fair enough. Well, we're gonna have two dead Korbels on our hands. All right, I take Carrie to Tomas.
Okay.
And say, yeah, Tomas. Am I able to find him? Is he in the house, outside the house, out by the chickens?
Tomas is currently feeding the chickens when you arrive.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so I take Carrie straight to the chicken coop.
All right.
How many chickens do I have? And does their number increase? Does it increase multiplicatively? I have 24 chickens listed on my spreadsheet.
I
guess we're not raising
every
chickens.
3 months, right?
What's that?
I hear they triple every 3 months. But I think you lack a rooster. So they're not breeding chickens at this moment.
Need to get a rooster. Maybe like a velociraptor. Make little basilisk chickens or something. All right. So I'm going to just subtract the 5 now. So I've got 19 chickens. All right, Tomas, Carrie here is to take 5 chickens to, what was his name? To
the Bones family farm.
Bones, that's a auspicious name. Should I just write Bones family farm?
Yeah.
How many Boneses?
The Bones family farm has 4 members of the household.
All right, 4 Bones. Okay. To the Bones. And,
she thanks you,
and help you with anything you need around the estate for the time being. I look meaningfully to Carrie. You can report back to Tomas once you've delivered the chickens. Do we have any like cages or anything to send them in?
She just grabs them by the necks and heads down the road.
Can you transport 5 chickens at a time?
4. She only needs 4, I think.
I said we were going to give 1 for the trouble. Well, if she just grabs 4, that's fine.
Yeah, she can grab 2 chickens by each neck and carry them that way, or by their feet upside down and carry them that way. The 5th one might be a little bit tough. Maybe she can grab 3 in one hand, 2 in the other.
She gets 4. She takes 4.
All right, she'll take 4.
It's pretty impressive chicken handling, though.
Well, you
we may have a job for you yet, Carrie.
Yeah.
All right. So she better come back. But for now, she's taking those chickens over to Bones Farm.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably across town, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And cool. So we need to dig up that warrior skeleton's body and swap it out for something else. I'm trying to think. How big was that guy? I got a great idea. Let's take a look at my undead collection.
You didn't raise the knight, did you?
I did not. I want to. That's
Yes.
a warrior skeleton right there.
Yes.
I'm looking at my collection of skeletons and zombies. Looks like I have 11 each. I'm sure amongst those, one of them is the same size as the warrior. But how can I render him unrecognizable? Swap out the body, or do I give them the body back and like ambush them on their way? That was my yeah. So I guess I go to my parlor to think about how to handle this Korbel situation. Can we take a look at the area map?
Yes.
Because my estate's a little away from the town square here. Just decapitated. Could I swap the heads? Interesting idea, McTacky. Can you make a hodgepodge skeleton, like the body from one, and put someone else's head on it?
Sure, but if you want it to be a warrior skeleton, it should
So
be
you need a
intact.
warrior's head.
Yeah.
And like the warrior in this case probably means leveled fighter for the most part.
Yes, I think
Right,
it
like the,
specifically says X level fighter on the character sheet, on the info area.
And I assume those like bandits are not warrior skeletons.
Right.
They're not warrior material.
Right.
It says first level warrior skeleton.
Yeah, I think the bandits were all 0th level.
Wait, first level? Oh no. The greater warrior skeleton requires a first level warrior skeleton. The level 3 version just requires a warrior skeleton. So it doesn't need to be a leveled fighter. Is that how you meant it? Or I mean, I was just going to use this. The guy was like a level 3 or level 5 warrior, wasn't he?
I thought great skeleton, warrior skeleton, first level warrior skeleton. Yeah, so I think the skeleton warrior just needs the body of someone who was a trained warrior, and the greater one needs the leveled guy. So a town guard would work for a skeleton warrior, but like a fisherman would only work for a regular skeleton. So this knight would be, you would need him for a greater skeleton warrior.
Okay, so this is something that I don't even need this guy's body yet.
Probably not.
I'll think about it. Probably got a few days. Okay, so I wanted to look at the map to try and guess how far away these people are going, how quickly they can travel. So let's go find Gate Isle. You're probably already looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, Lorwyn? No, Lorwyn was someone else. Korbel was that a pink circle off to the east, right? Or the maroon circle, whatever that is.
Yes, the Korbel is the maroon one, the Lorwyn is the black one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember who the Lorwyns were, is what I was saying. But there's the 23 miles over wood. It'll probably take them a day to get home.
Yeah, it would take them at least one full day of travel, probably 2 days. They're not adventurers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Love to stop somewhere for the night.
I haven't checked on my skellies actually. So when I'm back at the estate, is Theron here? Or did I miss him?
Theron is here. Yes. By the time you get back and everything, he has broke his fast finally, and he's got some paper and pen, and he's drawing plans for a rectory.
He's like in the parlor or somewhere else.
Yep, he's just in that same parlor that you
Okay,
often
I
find
think I
yourself in.
ignore him then, and I go about my business. Which I think might mean going out to. I can wait till night to do to check on my basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
I walk out to the porch or wherever. Can you see it from the porch, or is it like a side window? Is there anywhere I can get a look at the trapdoor to the?
Yes, it's around the side. You'd have to walk out onto the grounds to take a look.
Okay, so I go and have a look there. I forgot to describe as we're heading to town earlier the chicken population. They're probably 20 chickens. They probably go out and we were just at the chicken coop. Yeah, they're probably out on the grounds during the day. And is there like a coop for them next to the stables or in the stables?
I believe inside the stables, they've just kind of added some extra fencing to prevent the chickens from running underneath the stable door that would hold horses.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There are also piggos. 5 pigs and the horse. Okay.
Is this your document that I'm looking at here, the spreadsheet? Is this you?
I have a spreadsheet, Google Doc, yeah. Yeah, it looks like you're here. All right. Does the trapdoor look disturbed? Has anyone...
No, it looks undisturbed.
Okay, and I'll wait for tonight to go check on it.
Why don't we take our first break right here, and when we come back, we will check on the undead and other matters of town.
Bye-bye.
See you guys on the other side.